Hello viewers, welcome to the editorial analysis by Drishti IAS. In this section, we regularly take editorials from various newspapers and news portals for a better understanding of various issues happening in India and around the globe. Dear viewers, in this section, we first try to link the editorial with our UPSC syllabus. Then we go analytical in order to understand some key points and at last some important concepts. Dear viewers, we truly hope that you like this initiative taken by Drishti IAS and your feedbacks are important for us. So kindly feel free to give your important feedbacks in the comment section. So without any further delay, let's commence our session.
Dear viewer, this video is available in Hindi as well. If you wish to watch it, please visit our Hindi YouTube channel, Drishti IAS. For your convenience, the link for this video in Hindi has been provided in the description below.
Today's editorial is taken from The Hindu, published on 31st of December 2020. The title of today's editorial is Himalayan Maneuver. If we try to summarize today's editorial, we can say that India did well not to meddle in the political crisis unfolding in Nepal. If we try to link today's editorial with our UPSC syllabus, we can link it with GS Paper 2, which has sections that include polity, constitution, governance, international relations, etc. Some key points from today's editorial. By sending a senior delegation of the Communist Party of China to Kathmandu within days of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli's controversial decision to dissolve parliament and call for elections, Beijing has sent a worrying message that it is prepared to intervene in Nepal's politics. Now, viewers, we all know that on 20th of December 2020, the Nepalese Prime Minister, Mr. KP Sharma Oli, he came up with the decision of dissolving the Nepal's parliament. This decision was accepted by the Nepal's President Vidya Devi Bhandari. So when this decision came, it was said by many that it's a situation of constitutional coup by the Nepali Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. Now, amidst such situation, China has actually sent a senior delegation of the Communist Party of China to Kathmandu. Now, after the sending of this delegation, it has actually sent quite a warning message to the entire world, and it clearly shows that now China is absolutely prepared to intervene in the internal affairs, or you can say intervene in Nepali politics. The team, which is led by Vice Minister of the Communist Party of China International Department, Guo Yezho, met political leaders and called on Vidya Devi Bhandari and Mr. Oli with a stated mission to try and reverse the split in the party and convince Mr. Oli and his rivals Pushp Kamal Dahal Prachand and Madhav Nepal to effect a patch-up. Now, when asked, it has been said that what exactly is the purpose why the delegation has been sent to Nepal. Now, according to the delegation, it has been said that their intention is very clear. The delegation has met Vidya Devi Bhandari and KP Sharma Oli, and they have actually tried to convince Mr. Oli along with his arch rivals Mr. Pushp Kamal Dahal Prachand and Madhav Nepal work together and to make sure that there is no split in the unified Communist Party of Nepal. However, Mr. Sholi has shown his intention absolutely correctly, and he has stated it very clearly that he is in no mood to reverse back his decision. Many people who have been constantly saying the decision of dissolving the parliament is a situation of constitutional coup, because when Mr. KP Sharma Oli tried to came up with an ordinance, and that ordinance, it was not supported by many members of his own party. Many ministers in his own cabinet were against such an ordinance. So amid such circumstances, Mr. KP Sharma Oli knew that now he is not enjoying the same majority which he enjoyed in the year 2017. And it could have been the best time that he should have stepped down as the Prime Minister and must have looked for new alternatives. But instead of finding out a new alternative, what Mr. KP Sharma Oli did, that he went against the wishes of all the ministers and he dissolved the parliament. After the dissolution of the parliament, many ministers of Mr. KP Sharma's Oli cabinet, they have resigned from their portfolios. So, in order to fill those spaces, Mr. KP Sharma Oli, with the permission of the President Vidya Devi Bhandari, did a cabinet reshuffle on 25th of December 2020. Mr. Dahal and Mr. Nepal are clear that they will not reconsider their move to split the Unified Communist Party of Nepal and apply to the Election Commission for the control of the whole party unless Mr. Oli backtracks and restores the Pratinidhi Sabha or the lower house. When asked, Mr. Dahal and Mr. Madhav Nepal, they also have stated it very clearly that if Mr. KP Sharma Oli did not backtracks his decision of dissolving the parliament, they will definitely not think single time to split the party, the Unified Communist Party of Nepal. The split can only be stopped if Mr. KP Sharma Oli backtracks and restores the Pratinidhi Sabha or the lower house of the parliament in Nepal. They have also said that they will go and appeal to the Election Commission and they will try to get a complete control of the Unified Communist Party of Nepal there. While it is surprising that both factions have been willing to meet with Chinese delegation at a time like this, it is even more curious that Chinese leadership would risk losing face and lose popular goodwill with a move that sparked protest in Kathmandu. Now, when people of Nepal came to know about such a delegation, there were massive protests in Kathmandu. However, even between these protests, both the factions of the Unified Communist Party of Nepal, they have shown complete interest in order to meet the delegation. Both the sections, they are not at all concerned with the opinion of the people who have actually showed a protest against why China is intervening in the internal politics of Nepal. The present scenario, in contrast, India has chosen to be more pragmatic and restrained, possibly due to a historical understanding of the main players in Nepali politics and their penchant for political brinksmanship. However, with respect to India, India has performed very well here. India so far has not done anything and has decided to be more pragmatic and restrained because it has been said that India has a very good historical understanding of all the internal matters which are happening in Nepal. This is not the first time politics has been brought to the precipice since Nepal adopted its new constitution in 2015. Mr. Dahal walked out of a coalition government with Mr. Oli in 2016. See, the last 20 years for Nepal have been full of turmoil. In 2001, when the royal family was assassinated, after that, there was a situation of extreme Maoism during the duration of 2006, 7, 8. After that, in 2015, when the new constitution was enacted, there was a protest among the Madhesi people, which almost make 50% population of Nepal. So if we look at the history of Nepal in the past 20 years, the situation has been very unstable, or you can say the political instability has been a key feature of this duration. Also, both Mr. KP Sharma Oli and Pushp Kamal Dahal Prachand were in a coalition government, but Mr. Prachand walked out of the coalition government in 2016. While Mr. Oli moves of December 20 seem irreversible, there are still compromises possible. Though it can be said very clearly that Mr. Oli has no intent of reversing his decision, yet there are many people who are of this opinion that even though the situation is very bad, yet there is a possibility that a compromise might happen. But on what grounds and on what condition? Absolutely unknown. However, the most of the thing will depend upon the decision that will come from Supreme Court, because Supreme Court has given the time to the Nepali government till January 3rd. And they are being told that the government has to explain the action, that why exactly they have dissolved the parliament. This matter has been taken to Supreme Court because it is very clearly mentioned in the Nepali constitution of 2015 that the parliament can only be dissolved in a condition when no party enjoys a majority. But with case of Mr. KP Sharma Oli, he won the elections of 2017 with a thumping majority. So there is no appropriate reason that why exactly the parliament has been dissolved. That's the reason Supreme Court has intervened in this, and they have asked for the reasons for the action which has been taken by Mr. KP Sharma Oli. The future ahead. While it is clear that India is not playing its traditional leading role in Nepal, neither is it facing the odium for playing spoiler. Both Mr. Oli, who has reached out to India after months of map controversy, and Mr. Dahal, who has been a closer Indian ally during this period, are engaging then government. Now, it is quite obvious, it is quite clear that India do not want to intervene into the relations, or you can say the present situation that is going on in Nepal. India does not want to intervene into any of these. Though India has been that neighbor for Nepal which has always helped it. Whether we speak about our defense relation, whether we speak about our trade relations, India and Nepal always had very good relations. Especially if we speak about the latest development over the past 6 years when Prime Minister Modi has taken the seat. The relation between India and Nepal, in the beginning, they were absolutely very good. Mr. Narendra Modi, he went to his first international trip to Nepal. And when he went there, he actually went as Nepal's best friend, a commoner, a pilgrim, a guardian of a Nepali in need, and less of a prime minister of a big country. By the time he left Nepal, he had won the hearts and minds of Nepalis, imprinting deeply the idea that he alone has the will and ability to transform Nepal into a prosperous country. His repeated emphasis on India's respect for Nepal's sovereignty and the message that missed opportunities of the past and failed promises should not act as speed breaker in the future journey to prosperity together. By all accounts, many across the border were enthused by Prime Minister's promise of befriending neighbors. Modi did not disappoint with a speech to Kathmandu's parliament and constituent assembly, widely described in Nepal as magical, and by wading into welcoming crowds in Kathmandu. Modi has tried to mend this relationship to a very huge level. Also, when there was a situation of earthquake in Nepal, India has sent a tremendous amount of help to Nepal at that point of time. However, after 2017, it is quite known, it is quite obvious that Nepal's politics has got some influence of China. And since 2017, the relation between India and Nepal are not good, which they used to be at one point of time. Be it the issue of Madhesi, the Nepali government, they have directly blamed that it is the Indian government which is responsible for the Madhesis who are protesting. Madhesis are getting the support from the Indian government. During the issue of map controversy, the Kalapani issue, there has been a lot of mud spoiling on each other. Also, on June 13, 2020, the Parliament of Nepal voted unanimously to amend the constitution to redraw the country's new political map, laying claim over the strategically key areas of Lipulekh, Kalapani, along with the border of India. Also, the Home Minister of Nepal announced that 100 more border posts will be built along the new line as the dispute still rages on. However, Indian government, on the other hand, has invited Nepal for talks to resolve this long-standing border issue through diplomatic means. So it can be said very clearly that India does not want to intervene in the internal issues of Nepal, and India wants to mend its relationship with Nepal and is regularly making all the possible actions that can be done in order to attract our old friend. This positive situation gives New Delhi a little more space in which to consider its move and how to avoid instability in its Himalayan neighbor polity, something that is crucial to their relations and in the long term to their closely interlinked prosperity. See, the prosperity of both the countries is interlinked with each other, and India at this point of time has to take the action and has to emerge as a big brother for Nepal as well, and has to make sure that once again there is a political stability in the country and people are getting all the benefits, because Nepal already is going through a very tough phase, be it on the economic front or be it with respect to COVID. Nepal is in a deep trouble. So it is India's responsibility to act and make sure that it is helping India. However, Nepal has to accept this hand of friendship from India here. So viewers, this was with today's analysis. Now a question that can be framed with reference to today's editorial: India-Nepal relation has been deteriorated in recent times and need to be strengthened. Critically examine. So viewers, this was with the today's editorial analysis. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much and a very happy new year to each and every one of you.